Shalom, everybody. Good evening. Mesechta Tamid is one of the shorter Mesechtas, and one of the inyanim in the primary inyan in Mesechta Tamid is the avodah in the Beis Hamikdash, and therefore it's particularly shayach to these days, the 9 days when we're commemorating the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, and therefore mentioning and understanding the avodah of the Kohanim in particular in the Beis Hamikdash is what this Mesechta is about. And it does talk a little bit in the beginning about the Levim, and finally at the end, in the final Mishnah of the chapter which we're about to learn, it also turns to the avodah of the Levim. Having discussed all the inyonim with the karbonis and the various places where the Kohanim guard and what they do and the various functions and so on and so forth. So finally we come to the final Mishnah, which is in the perek called Bizman Shekohen Godel, and the final Mishnah begins discussing the shirim that was sung in the Beis Hamikdash on a daily basis, and this was part of the avodah of the Levim, and probably the primary avodah of the Levim. They also did some guarding of the outer gates and so on, but nevertheless the ikar avodah of the Levim was the inyan of the shirim. And the Mishnah now goes on to discuss what these particular shirim were, which ones they were. These are the songs that the Levim would sing in the Beis Hamikdash. On Sunday, to Hashem is the earth and everything in it. The entire globe, and everyone who lives therein. In other words, the entire world belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's on the first day of the week, Sunday. B'sheni, on a Monday, Gadol Hashem umuhul ha'moed be'ir Elokeinu har kodshoy. And on the second day, they would say this other perek in Tehillim, which is actually Tehillim Memches. Yeah, it's a Tehillim Memches, where it says, God al Hashem u'lam oid, great is Hashem, and to be greatly praised. Be'ir Elokeinu, particularly Be'ir Elokeinu, meaning in the city of Yerushalayim, Ir Elokeinu, where the Beis Hamikdash was built. Har Kodshoy, that's Har Moria, where the Beis Hamikdash was built. And then on Shlishi, B'Shlishi, on the third day of the week, Hayu Oimrim, also Tehillim, Pei Beis, Elokim Nitzav Ba'adas Kel, Hashem stands in the Eda of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bekerev Elokim Yishpoit, and amongst the judges, he judges also. That's particularly appropriate for the third day, because the third day, as we know, is the Machriya Beinehem, and always the minimum amount of judges generally in a court was 3, and therefore it's particularly appropriate for the third day of the week. Rabbi, on the fourth day of the week, on Wednesday, or Yoimrim, also in Tehillim, Kel Nakamois Hashem, Kel Nakamois Rafia, that Hashem takes his revenge from those who attempt to harm the city or to harm Yidden and so on. Kel Nakamos Hefia, B'Chamishi, on Thursday, Hayu Oimrim, Tehillim again, Pei Aleph, Haninu le'Elokim Uzeinu, let us sing to Hashem our power, our koyach, Harilu le'Elokei Yaakov, we'll sing out to Elokei Yaakov, the Elokim of Yaakov Avinu, in other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'Shishi, Hayu Oimrim, again, Tehillim Tzadik Gimel, Hashem Melech Gevus Lovesh, Hashem is a king who wears dignity and pride, Gaius Lovesh, Begoimer, and so on. The psukim continue. The Shabbos, and on Shabbos, how you oimrim, they would say Tehillim Tzadik Beis Mizmor Shilim Yom Shabbos. Mizmor Shilim Yom Shabbos, the song that's sung on the day of Shabbos. So the Mishnah has a question on this. Mizmor Shilim Yom Lasid Lavoy. This is a song that's supposed to be Lasid Lavoy. In other words, when it says here Shabbos, it doesn't mean Shabbos Tam, it means Shabbos in the future, the 7th millennium, the time of Lasid Lavoy. When after Mashiach comes and so on and so forth, there'll be a whole Tekufa that will be called Shabbos. So the Gemara answers, the Mishnah answers, indeed that is the case. But we're talking here about, since the Inyan of Shabbos on a weekly basis and the Inyan of Shabbos on a in terms of the millennia, the seventh millennium, are the same thing. So therefore, this is the right Tehillim, this is the right shir to sing on Shabbos. Yom Shekulu Shabbos Menucha La'elomim, because that'll be a tekufa when it'll be all Shabbos. The whole week, every day of the week will be like Shabbos now, in terms of the Gilu Elokus and so on and so forth. The Arizal, whose Yotzat is tonight, has a drosha on this Inyan of the Mizmor that we sing on Yom HaShabbos, the Mizmor that the Leviim sang on Yom HaShabbos, and he says like this, that the Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbos, the Rosh Tevas of Mizmor Mem Shir Shin Lamed LeYom HaShabbos Hey is the Rosh Tevas of the name of Moshe Rabbeinu, LaMoshe. So it's an Inyan of LaMoshe. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu is the primary one who sings this Inyan of the Shir, and Bnei Yisrael all sing after him. They follow him in their song. Why is this particularly important? Because it says that when the Torah was given to Bnei Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu was given as a matana. He was given 1,000 oiros. He was given 1,000 oiros as a matana, but because Moshe Rabbeinu was tov ayin, so he shared it with the Yidden. But as soon as his intention was to share it with the Yidden. But as soon as there was the Inyan of the Cheta Egel, that was taken away. The 1,000 oiros was taken away, which is why the Aleph of Vayikra is a small Aleph, to show that those oiros were taken away. But nevertheless, those 1,000 oiros are given back to Moshe Rabbeinu given back to him on Shabbos, and he shares them with all of Bnei Yisrael. And that, says the Arizal, is the kavanah that we should have when we sing this, when we say Mizmor Yom HaShabbos, which is the Tehillim that we say for the Shir Shel Yom HaShabbos. A person should have in kavanah the Techaven Sheb'Shabbos Ro'oi L'Shoyer L'Zamer. It's proper to sing and to sing and to play even to play musical instruments in the Beis Hamikdash, because Moshe Rabbeinu, whose chelek was taken away from him in the Chol, now gets his chelek back and he gives it to Bnei Yisrael, and that's the inyan of Tosefes Shabbos and the inyan of the Neshama Yesera that's given to every Yid on Shabbos. Where does that Neshama Yesera come from? That Neshama Yesera comes from Moshe Rabbeinu, says the Arizal, and that's the 1,000 oiros that he gives to Bnei Yisrael. That's the inyan of his Neshama. So that is the end of the Mesechta. Hadon Alach Bizman Shekohen Godol Tzitlu Mesechta Tamid. Okay. Hadon Alach Mesechta Tamid. Hadon Alach Hadon Chalan. Hadon Alach Data Chalan. Lo Nishem Minach Mesechta Tamid. Lo Tzitlu Minach Minan. Lo Alma Hadem. Lo Alma Daasi. Hilu Fumunech Hadon Alach שתהי תורתך ואמונתך ואמונתנו בעולם הזה, ותהי עמנו לעולם הבא. חנינו בפרפר, רנינו בפרפר, נחנו בפרפר, אחי בפרפר, אבא בפרפר, רפרם בפרפר, רחיש בפרפר, סרחה בפרפר, עדה בפרפר, דרו בפרפר. הרב נערנו להינו, דבר צרתך בפינו, ופיוס עמך בישראל, ונהיה כולנו אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בישראל, כולנו ידע שמך ולאים די צרתך. ואוי ואי, תחכמני מצוותיך לעולם בו, כי היא לי. יהי ליבי שמים במחוקך למען לא יבש, לא אלם לא אשכח פקדיך, כי בם חייסנו ברוך אתה אדוני למדי מחוקך, אמן אמן, סלע ועד. מועדים אנחנו לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ולבזנו, ששמת חלקנו מיוש בבייס המדרש, ולא שמת חלקנו מיוש והקרנויס, שאנו משכימים והם משכימים, אנו משכימים לדברי תורה, והם משכימים לדברון בתהילים, אנו המיילים והם המיילים, אנו המיילים ומקבלים שכר, והם המיילים ואין מקבלים שכר. אנו רצים והם רצים, אנו רצים לכל העולם הבא, והם רצים לבאר שחס, שנאמר, ואתה אלוקים תורידם לבאר שחס, עד שדומים ומרמה לא יחצו ימיהם, ואני אפתח בך. יהי רצונים לפניך אדוני אלוהי, כשם שעזרתני לסיים מסכת תמיד, כן תעזרני להשכיל מסכתות ספרים אחרים ולסיימם, ללמד לשמוע ולעשות ולקיים כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה, וזכות התנאים והאמוראים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לי ולזרי שלא תמוש התורה מפי ומפי זרי עד עולם, ויזכיים בי ויסלח תנחה יסח בשחך תשמור עליך והפצויסה היא ששיחך, כי בי ירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים Erik Yamin Bimino, Bismillah Esher Mechabed, Adonai Chafes Laman Tzidkoi, Adonai Ezlam Yitain, Adonai Yivarech Esama B'Shalom. Yiskara, Shishmei Rabbi, Bama Durak Rusa, Yom Mafusa, Yazom Kona, Karamishikai, Chayei Yamei, Karamatai, Robusita, Golo, Mankari,
Amen. Yishkaro Navarach, Yasmaret.
Amen.